Hey guys, so final episode of the year, and I guess with that being the case, that more or less begs the question of was this a good cap off to 2021? And I'm gonna be a little bit roundabout about that, frankly, because I think when it comes to the anime, your own mileage may vary on that. Because weirdly enough, like don't get me wrong, this episode was big, grand, epic. It was everything you pretty much would have wanted a One Piece episode to be like before going into 2022 into the new year. But because of that, weirdly enough, even though it wasn't, but for me personally, even though it wasn't the best paced episode, I kind of think episode 1000 is like the best episode of the year, just for how it was treated as a celebration of the Straw Hats and all that. But if that's my own personal opinion, but if we are talking general size and scale, then this episode definitely was the most epic. Was the most epic in order to end the year off, because again, art and animation aside, which was phenomenal. If you're going to close out the year with the anime, then there's no better way to do it than with seeing an all-out assault from the Akaze 9, like pretty much going the whole Odin two sword style on full force in on Kaido and landing like the first major blow of the fight on him. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, again, now knowing a lot of people, I'm pretty sure there are people who would have liked it if the anime wasn't so slow paced, and would have preferred it to end on would have preferred if the year would have ended on the whole start of the fight between Kaido and Luffy. But realistically, that wasn't going to happen either way. So this is like the best for me personally. This is the best way in order for One Piece, in order for the One Piece anime to close out 2021. Also, apparently, guys, for anyone who still likes the opening and isn't tired of it, this is going to be the last episode that the opening of Dreamin' On is going to be used in the opener, but before it's replaced with the new opening song called Paint by I Hate Mondays. Like, that's literally the band name. But yes, supposedly start of 2022, the next One Piece episode is going to have a new opening. And I checked out a little snippet of the song that's going to be used in the new opening ahead of time, and let me tell you, the new opening is going to have a lot more of an emotional vibe, in the similar vein of something to openings 12, 13, and 14 being the closest I can compare it to, but not as instrumentally heavy either. It's going to be a lot, just based off the song, like the new opening is going to be a lot more emotionally mellow opening, and I'm curious to see just what kind of visuals Toei is going to pair up with that song. So yeah, overall, I'd say just overall a really great way in order to end off the year, frankly, with the One Piece anime. And yeah, let's just talk about the entire fight itself, because I know there will be the purists who say it was handled better in the manga, but honestly, between how the fight was built up and started when the Akaze and Kaido came to blows, I feel one thing the anime, oddly enough, does do better is how it shows a lot more of the Akaze 9 struggle in order to actually land a solid blow on Kaido. Not only enforcing how powerful he is, but also just it makes how this episode ends with him with all the Akaze collectively landing that like the two sword style blow, feeling all the more rewarding when they collectively all use that technique in against him. Even before that, I also appreciate how this episode gave time for each of the Akaze 9 to have their individual moment, whereas the manga, I think it was mostly them fighting collectively, and both have their merits, but I do like how we got to see how they individually attack Kaido, kind of thing too. But honestly, whereas oddly enough, where I was truly sold on this episode and the fight is that visual transition of Kinemon engulfed in flames before being replaced in Kaido's mind by the spirit of Odin, showing that for as much of a front as he puts on, Kaido is just as afraid of the Kozuki as Orochi. but the only difference is that Odin is that Kaido is much better at hiding it. Also, it could just be me and the weird relationship I've had with my feelings on Kinemon at this point in the story, but I found myself more emotionally invested in Kinemon in the anime again at this particular point, and especially in this episode where maybe it was just the voice acting, but I could really feel his like all the emotions he's been bottling up, everything he's been bottling up, like him, and seeing him just kind of reflecting his life, the burdens and regrets he carries. Again, just seeing all that was just a lot more amazing, I feel, in the anime, and seeing all the stuff that he carries with him leading up to the penultimate moment of him pushing past his limits to land that decisive blow with the others. And granted, I think a lot of that does have to do with, again, the voice acting I think is a major key in this, but I think the soundtrack also played a big part in it. Well, like the soundtrack was kind of fucking amazing in this episode, frankly. And just in general, I think the anime did a little better at visualizing the struggle the Yakuza 9 were going through and taking on Kaido. So, yeah, overall, I think that this was just a very well done episode, honestly. But now, I suppose if I did have any issues with this episode, I guess that despite the improvement I feel that was made to the fight, the actual pacing could be considered a little iffy, as it's pretty much just the fight with Kaido the entire episode without too much to break it up, other than like Kinemon's inner monologues and reflecting on his life as well as another moment with Shinobu and Momonosuke being chased by Yamato, which, yeah, I think that's going to be the thing we should expect them to fill space with, honestly, like, which is going to be really annoying, frankly, and I think that in some ways is and should be good enough on their own, but by not cutting away to like anything else, it also kind of created another issue in this episode, which is a lot more noticeable, which is if you look in this episode, there's a singular moment where Kaido himself was CGI, and it is kind of one of those blink and you'll miss it moments, but it also remained, but because it wasn't cut up, but because this episode wasn't like spaced out with any other moment in between the fight, it's one of those things that can be very noticeable without a transition. And even within those brief moments, it is still a bit jarring. Again, these are all probably minor quibbles, but they did feel more problematic as the episode continued on. Again, Kinemon's inner monologues being all great and being the thing that did break it up and give it a little bit more on like on and off in between the fighting. So yeah, but yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Analyst Crunchyroll. Be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, everyone.